I got a bunch of little things I need to wrap up on the car. So I don't really have any big projects to do, but I did make a list, and it's very rare for me to make lists. So just a quick rundown on stuff we got to finish. I just made, basically a checklist: check engine oil, fix driver side shock mount in the back, put in the injectors, finish the fuel system, parking brakes, lug nuts. You always want to put that down because you don't want to be riding around with your lug nuts loose. Differential fluid, limited slip, additive, the radiator hoses, drive shaft, exhaust, battery, trans, cooler gauge, wastegate boost controller, coolant, bleed the brakes, and intercooler pipes. And I'm sure there's some stuff in there I've missed, like the starter. I know I need to put that in because it will not want to start without a starter. So with that said, I think I'm just going to start plugging away at the little things. So join in, come along for the journey, if you will, and yeah, man, it'll be fun. Got the low radiator hose in its place, and that's just a chopped stock hose that seems to work. Actually, that was the stock hose from a Pontiac that I chopped up, and it seems to work. And then we got the starter all wired up, and it gets pretty tight in there with all the wires. You see how the back of the can I get predominant light from the back here? So you see how the back of the manifold is kind of close to the starter wires, but we zip tied everything up and out of the way, so hopefully we got enough clearance there, enough clearance. And what I think I'm going to do now is I was about to throw these tubes in, but I think I'm going to do is I already have an intake air temperature sensor on the side post intercooler, and I think I'm going to throw one in on my pre-intercooler side. So probably just puglet for now, but that'll be a cool data point if I ever want to throw in another sensor and kind of get the gist of how effective the intercooler, which is right now, is, and that will be a good way to do it. Give us kind of the before temps and after temps, maybe, if we get there. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and pop a hole in that and weld that guy on real quick. Alright, so we got the bung welded in. It sucks, I bought a bunch of these bungs so I could still actually design these myself when I had them shipped out, and they didn't tap them deep enough, so I can use them myself, but can't really, nobody wants a bung that they need to
tap afterwards, but they're perfectly sized, so I'm excited to get the next batch done. We can get it worked out, the details. But anyway, bung's on there, happy about that. I had the horn mounted down here because originally it was up here, and it doesn't fit with the pipe. So that's kind of the problems when you're dealing with so many different systems and pieces and whatnot, is you got to make everything all work at one time, which it's not. So we'll find a new home for the horn, maybe put it back in its old home, and continue putting this stuff together. You gotta love when things actually work the way they're supposed to work. Kind of go together how they're meant to go together. So we got the up pipe for the cold air, the cold side of the intercooler piping in there, and the hot side. The hot side's hot, the cold side's cold down meow. And we put the little blow off valve in there so we can put the duct call on it. And yeah, I mean, there's been a few hiccups here and there, things that I ran into, wires that didn't really reach. We had to relocate the horn over to here, but this is all setting pretty well. I had this originally to the blow-off valve, and it doesn't need to go there. I actually need to block that port off, and I need it because this is, if you blow into this, it blows through here, and that's not what we want. We want the blow-off valve to get hooked on the other side of the throttle body, so when it slams shut and creates vacuum, it opens the blow-off valve, and that actually vents that and supposedly helps keep your turbo from spinning backwards or all that good stuff. Do with that information what you will. And yeah, so maybe I'll fight with that. Maybe I'll fight with this upper radiator hose. We'll fight with something. We'll definitely be fighting. Alright, buttoning up lots of little tiny loose ends. You saw me welding the this guy. I had to modify our Frankenstein upper radiator hose yet once again, but yeah, it's gonna work. And put in the steam ports and the sensor for the temperature sensor, the gauge one. Got that all hooked up. Ran some, I tapped this sloppy mat style, and that will be for the blow-off valve, and ran all these lines that go to our hob switch and the loud valve and our inside boost pressure gauge, and then so I omitted the thermo switch, and I'm just gonna run the fan, the relay from the gold box. So I have to string that out and through, and I still have to put the coils on, the coils and the spark plug wires. But that should, other than engine fluids, pretty much be it with putting everything back together, I do believe. So that was a pretty good evening of work. A few hours we were able to get in, get everything kind of, all the turbo piping back in, all the water, the cooling pipings, and our plumbing, our vacuum lines, etc., all hooked up and zip tied out of hot things ways and that good stuff. So I forgot what I did under the car. I know I did. I put the starter in, so the starter's ready to go. I have to run a new battery cable because the old one's too short, but we'll get that in. That will be too easy. Yeah, so I think we'll call it an evening, and tomorrow, if I'm not overwhelmed with work, we will get hopefully the drive shaft, and we'll go check see if my parts showed up from Jegs, and maybe we can get the drive shaft and the exhaust back in, or maybe we'll tackle that rear shock on the driver's side, relocating that mount system, or the fuel. So those are things we got to do. We'll check what we did off the list, and things we still got to do, we'll just keep on doing them. And sorry I didn't have videos out like every day this week, but it's my own fault. I succumbed to No Mercy 9, so that's really what happened. I sat on the couch all day Saturday and ate ding dongs and ho-hos and watched drag racing, and then Sunday I had to make some flasks for some dude in Australia because he guilted me into it, but that's fine. I like doing things for people. He's gonna get married, and that was gonna be his groom's best guy's best man's gift, so that's cool. It's always nice to make something and think that it means something to somebody. But yeah, so I didn't get all the footage that I usually get on the weekend of me turning wrenches on the cars. I didn't, so I'm doing it throughout the week. And yeah, we got a few weeks before we have to get this thing ready to be on the dyno. And I've learned that. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and you have to have like some overarching drama. So that's, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it on the dyno in time. Will I be able to get it together? Will I be able to get it together in time for the dyno? Oh my god, I don't know. Stuff like that will make it pulls in more people to watch because there's drama. So we'll add some drama. We definitely do have a deadline though. So I emailed the school today, and we'll hopefully get that all coordinated out. And as I know about it, I'll update you guys about it. Super excited to see that thing happen. And yeah, so until next time, this is Mike with Monkey Fab signing out.